Talk to the Sex Doctor. He is now in the building. Sam Zia, how you doing, brother?
Not bad. I'm glad that I'm here. I just had because I'm a marriage and family therapist, I just had a session with some people, and sometimes you carry some energy from people, and it just makes me happy that I came over here and felt the energy shift in the right direction. So.
I get that. I actually do. I understand that. Tonight, going to let you know in advance, we're going to have a spirited discussion. And we're also going to go straight to the hallway after this segment. So if you have questions and you're amongst the Momigos and you want to put it in the Motown chat, go ahead and we'll answer those questions, which are probably better suited for the hallway than live on air. You know what to do. Sam, where are we going to start tonight?
Well, I was, as usual, perusing through social media, and I saw a meme that came up where guys would say if they could have any sound effect accompany them as they're getting aroused, what would it be? And the one that the guy in the video had was the sound of
the flute.
No, it was the sound of when Mario finishes a level in Mario Brothers. The da 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 da.
Stefan, find that one for reference sake.
Now, personally, and I think I had to talk to Stefan about this one. My personal one is having the sound of a lightsaber turning on.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never thought of a sound effect. Thank you, Stefan.
Precisely.
Wave that lightsaber around.
Now, of course, anybody, if you have any other ideas for funny sound effects to go with it, please hit us up on the chat and stuff like that. But now, also, there's a sound effect for when, you don't quite reach arousal, those moments where...
You don't get quite to the top floor.
Yeah, those little tiny moments where you feel a little insufficient and insecure. There's a sound effect that should go with that as well.
I'm sorry, but I've never associated sound with that particular act or approach to the act.
Yeah. My head tends to wander during sex, so these
do you have
like a
soundtrack? Is there music playing in your head?
Oh yeah, constantly.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about video games. Maybe I'm just wrapped a little bit differently. Maybe if there was a theme playing in my head, Rocky would be a little bit on the nose.
That would be, I could see that.
Yeah, it would be a movie soundtrack.
No Easy Way Out, Rocky 4.
Yeah. There's no, I see what you did there. But
Thank you.
Okay. With that as the precursor.
Yeah. Now, for me, obviously, I'm getting older in the years, and that sound effect of the Price is Wrong sound effect tends to come up a little more often now as I'm getting older. And, it can get embarrassing for guys as we get older to go and talk to their doctors about, the body parts not working the same way that they used to. And it's hard, doctors are, especially if it's a male doctor, you don't want to necessarily admit something where you're not as virile as you were in the past. And if it's a female doctor, forget about it. But for men, the ability to control and maintain arousal during sex is something that has a huge impact on mental health.
It's a new age because not only can we actually talk about it on the radio, there are also products available on the general marketplace which are advertised all times of the day.
Yeah.
What would you say about that evolution? Where is it society getting a little bit more mature, or is it they've just found a way to monetize it?
Well, as sex has been commoditized without question. And you can make money off of it and everything like that. And we are coming up on, I think, or we just passed the 27th year birthday of Viagra.
It's been almost 30 years?
The Viagra babies are almost hitting 30 years old now.
Okay, let's back up for people who may not know. Viagra originally was a blood pressure medicine.
Yeah, that's what they were testing it for.
Yeah, and then as a side effect, they realized, wow.
It made things work. And it brought life to people who had felt sexually dead.
And you would think about it, if you're talking about blood pressure medicine, you're already dealing with a demographic probably on the other side of 40.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Now, and something that can affect that is obviously anxiety. And, performance anxiety is a thing for a lot of guys, especially when we get older. If things aren't working, we tend to put more pressure on ourselves. So if you don't want to take the medication route, you got to start actually working on relaxation methods, deep breathing exercises, yoga, things like that, just so that you carry more of a sense of peace and calm with you so that you won't anxiously block your arousal down the line. Not everybody is as good at mastering their anxiety as others. So for them, the medication is something that can absolutely help. There's Viagra and Cialis. Those are the two major players in the game.
Let me ask you this, and you may not know, but why is it that there are only two major players in the game? Isn't there, I thought that there'd be more research and possibly more entrance into that industry by now because it's so lucrative.
Well, it's obviously very lucrative, but if a product is working, there's no point in trying to adjust it or make it. Cialis works in its own way. It's effective up to 36 hours. It's more effective for people who are just like spontaneously going through their day and they're not planning on when they're going to do it. They're just going to do it at some point. Mm-hmm. Viagra is like, we're ready to go, and 30 minutes from now, we're going to have some fun.
Oh, I didn't know the difference. Okay,
and that lasts up to 6 hours. So,
and if it does last more than 4 hours, you should see your doctor.
Absolutely. A condition called priapism.
Don't ask me why I know that.
Is real. And the way you treat it, the way doctors treat it, is not something you want to experience. It involves needles and the draining of blood from that. And it's something that I'm sure some people have had Viagra horror stories. I, for one, have had one Viagra horror story. And it happened about 20-something years ago, back when it was like new on the market. And I was like, I got to see what everybody's talking about. I didn't need it. I was like 22, 23 years old. I was with somebody, committed relationship. And because of an episode of Sex in the City, they tried, one of the girls tried a Viagra pill with other guys
to see what the physical,
because they heard that there was some kind of reaction for them too, but it was really more placebo. Now, we tried it. Me and my girlfriend at the time tried it, and my girlfriend got violently ill, throwing up and dizzy, and just couldn't quite manage. And
I'm sure it's an off-label use.
Yeah, no, it's not something that is prescribed for women sexually. It's a placebo effect, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the effect that it had on her was more of like the negative side effects that you see from it. From overdosing on Viagra. And so she didn't necessarily overdose. She just had a really bad reaction. So she was stuck in bed, throwing up, having the spins, not feeling good. And I was in the other room with alone with a Woodrow the size of a Winnebago.
Well,
that had an attitude.
Let me ask you this. What are some of the other side effects that are less discussed or issues which may come out of using that?
Yeah, blurred vision, bluish tint to your vision is another one. Also, heart issues if you're overdosing on it. It's why, if you are going to explore those options, please do it with, I know there's online resources available for people. And if you're physically fine and everything like that, I'm not the medical doctor to tell you what to do. But I also know for a fact that your medical doctor has a better idea of how your body works and what medications work with it and which ones don't. So if you're going to have this conversation, don't be afraid. Don't have any shame about it. Go talk to your doctor about it. The benefits of actually having a good sex life, which these medications promote, are boundless. It decreases anxiety, decreases depression, increases exercise, boosts self-esteem. Yeah. Self-esteem goes up, improves sleep quality. There's so many different factors that go into having a healthy sex life that it's worth having these discussions, even if you're embarrassed to talk about it with your doctor.
Okay, we're getting ready to go to the hallway and continue this discussion. There are things that I would like to say that I can't say on this microphone, I can't say over the public airwaves. But when we come back, I want to address the shame and stigma, because all these conversations we have, there's always next to it, adjacent to it, there's a feeling of shame and there is some sort of stigma. And if we could get rid of either or both, I think people are better off.
Oh, for sure.
So let's talk about that when we come back. The Sex Doctor, Zia is here. I'm just going to let that hang out there. Bill Conti. KFI AM 640 is later with Mo Kelly. Live on Instagram, Facebook. Where else?
Instagram?
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, iHeartRadio app. We're getting ready to go to the hallway. So
Mama's
see
house.
us there. In Mama House and them. Mark Ron with the news.
Live?
We're up.
Okay. Yeah, we're up.
Okay, who's saying what is up there?
Okay, Dr. Sam Zia, why is it our culture is so focused on dick size?
Unless it's a woman who is specifically a size queen, the obsession is amongst men because it's a sign of virility, it's kind of a sign of manliness, and it's when you have stuff like porn out there that sets in like this high bar for people, it makes it so that guys who don't quite measure up have more of a sense of shame, and there's so much money being thrown at that specific problem now.
But I see I see advertisements online for like sex toys for women, less so for men. Has that changed?
More sex toys for women. It's still very much a market that is designed for women's pleasure, which is totally cool. But now there's so many more, especially since electronics and AI and robotics are now becoming more of a thing within the sex toy industry. The products for men are now becoming higher quality because, I mean, really, for guys, I mean, you really can't beat left or right. And if you're gonna, for women, for a guy, if you're gonna add vibration to the mix, cool. But there's not too many products out there that can actually successfully give you what you're looking for. Whereas women, if you add vibration to the mix, you're creating a Superman.
What's isn't there like a convention coming up?
Yes, in about 2.5 weeks. It's going to be here in Burbank, and I would love for you to show up. I think it would be a lot of fun.
What is the convention?
It's called ANME, A-N-M-E. It's the Adult Novelty I think Adult Novelty Manufacturers Expo or something like that.
So they'll be showing off all the toys, all the gadgets and gizmos,
and all of the new stuff that's about to hit the market.
Okay.
The cutting edge of sex and sexuality will be there.
What is it? Okay. I hope everyone is being respectful in the chat. There are size queens too. Yeah. Art Law says. Okay. Well, we were talking about on the show last week how the size of a vagina can change for hormonal reasons, age reasons, and so forth. Can women be deceiving themselves because of their own body?
Maybe. I mean, they may not be fully aware of how deep things go for them, and even no matter how deep or how shallow the vagina may be, each individual's ability to receive pleasure is different. There are some women who can only reach climax through clitoral stimulation. There are some women who require penetration before they have an orgasm. Some women cannot have an orgasm at all with penetration. So everybody is different. It just depends on what that individual person is into. And there's so much put on male's penis size that it becomes something that is an obsession where no matter how big you are, there's going to be a girl who's into exactly what you are. You just have to be okay with you first.
Okay, say that again, because I think that's the main takeaway.
No matter how big you are, there is going to be a woman who is into exactly who and what you are. There's going to be size queens out there who are into the bigger stuff, and more power to them. If they're dating you and things aren't working out...
Why are you not yet?
Because I'm saying...
if you're dating them and things don't work out, they're going to be more likely to say, hey, sorry, it's not a right fit, and we're just going to move on.
But wait, where's that? That's that rim shot.
Thank you. But if it's...
We can't say rim shot in this...
No, you can't. Right? No, you can say it here. You can say rim shot. You can say rim job. You just can't say rim job on the air.
Yeah. So yeah, it's...
How much time?
Steph.
7.
Steph.
3 seconds. Oh, thank you. Okay.
And we just came back from the hallway. We were having a very open conversation. We were having a free conversation. I was asking our guest, Dr. Sam Zia, the sex doctor, about a variety of subjects, and I can't detail them here, but a part of it, adjacent to it, was this idea of shame.
Yeah.
The idea that men have shame as far as performance issues, the idea that men may have anxiety about how they're perceived by women. Let me put it that way. How do we go about lessening that stigma, or is it just something that's here to stay?
We lessen the stigma by openly communicating about sex and sexuality. If we're hiding stuff, if we're ashamed to even discuss it, then it's just going to sit in the dark and stew and fester until it becomes something toxic. It's important to be actually open and honest about our needs and our desires with our partners and making sure that our needs are being met. If not, then we have more room for resentment being built within a relationship. You have more room for frustration and tension starting to bite on people. And then you start to seeing the dynamic between them shift to one where they feel like they don't quite understand each other.
Is the shame for men specifically? There's a shame as far as women and how women may be perceived by the world if they have what I call a body count that's higher than people are willing to accept. But men is different because I think it's self-imposed, is it not?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and men tend to be more braggadocious with each other about their sexual conquests and what their body count is. And with women, it seems like the more you have, the more shame gets thrown on. From
other people.
From other people. But really, a lot of times guys will also feel ashamed about either not having enough sexual experience or enough sexual partners, and feel like especially if they're in a committed relationship and they don't feel like they've fulfilled enough of their desires and experiences, and they feel too ashamed to communicate those desires and experiences with their partner. So at that point, that's where you start seeing resentment starting to build in a relationship, because one person is like, I really want to open up, but I am afraid of how you're going to react.
And
that's where shame comes in.
Speaking of opening up, and I wonder if this is factual or just anecdotal. In other words, my view of the world. There was always this belief that a woman starts to enjoy sex more when she hits 30 or so. First, is there truth to that?
I wouldn't say it doesn't necessarily get better. I'd say the quality of sex may improve because their partners may have more experience, or that individual may be more comfortable in their skin sexually.
That's what I was thinking, because a woman who is 30 or above probably is not in the shadow of her home.
Yeah.
She's not necessarily as tied to beliefs that were imported to her or thrust upon her, maybe not thrust, that's the wrong word, put upon her growing up, and she's just making decisions as she wants. Is that part of it?
Part of it, yeah. It's also being less concerned about the pleasure of the other person and taking more ownership of your own pleasure, and making it so that, because you hear a lot of times like, that person made me climax. That person, and it's like, no, they didn't. You did that yourself.
That's right, because it starts in the mind, your own mind.
Because that person could go with someone who may be inorgasmic. They may not be able to reach orgasm, and they're doing the exact same things, but they're not able to tear that wall down. Whereas with
Mr. Gorbachev.
Yes, thank you. But with people, when they're, if they're doing it right and they're attuned to each other's needs and they're doing the things that get each other off, then communication is already present. You guys are making sure that your guys' needs are being met.
I wonder, though, if the concept of going back to shame, of that and sex has changed remarkably because of the internet, because people are able to see porn and how that reshapes the mind at a much earlier age than when you were growing up or when I was growing up. How does pornography fit into that equation?
Porn, again, is the fantasy of sex, and you have to keep it in that context. You're not seeing the reality of sex in it, but seeing the sexual act and seeing all of these different things has made it so that people have normalized sex a little bit more. There's a lot. Wait.
Well, they've normalized the act, but what they're seeing is abnormal.
Yeah.
And unrealistic.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's bringing up discussion. It's
okay.
It's like, you know what? That looks interesting. Have you ever wanted to try that before? Like, that's where the benefit of porn can be, is that it helps create and it instigates conversation between couples about ideas that they may have or want to try, and they can use porn as a way to introduce the concept.
Maybe in a healthy adult relationship.
Yeah.
But to those who are using it or experiencing it as a part of their growth, And I don't mean just as,
not just physically.
Yeah, I'm just saying the growth as a fully formed adult. Because if you look at porn in your early 20s, it's probably going to impact you differently than your early 30s.
Yeah. Well, and there's the view that porn is exploitative, which a lot of times it is, but it's a lot of times people look at it as like we can look at the performers, and that's another discussion about the exploitation of the performers and stuff like that. But when it comes to what people are actually seeing, it's the way that porn has changed since the internet has come in. It was something that was like, we're going to go and raid my uncle's Playboy stash, to now it's like on every single phone.
Every single one.
And it makes it so that you have to have open, active conversations about this stuff, either with kids or with your partner, because where that stuff wasn't as present, the conversation wasn't necessary.
It wasn't accessible.
Yeah, it wasn't there. Well, you didn't need to have the conversation. Now it's something that porn, whether you like it or not, is going to have some kind of impact on the relationship, whether you like and want to incorporate porn to the relationship that you have with somebody or by yourself, or if you have a lot of shame about it and you don't want to have it be like it could be viewed as perhaps cheating within a relationship.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I work with couples that are very much like they've had issues with infidelity in the past, and they view porn as part of the problem. So that whenever they look at porn, that's as close to cheating as actually cheating.
I can understand intellectually where you can say that brings an element into the relationship that not everyone is comfortable with.
Yeah.
But as far as infidelity, I'm not sure I understand the leap.
It's not necessarily like the physical act. You're not actually being unfaithful. It's the feeling that gets left with the person who's on the other side of it.
Feeling inadequate?
Inadequate, feeling like, what, I'm not doing enough?
That's what you want type thing?
Yeah. Oh, you're more attracted to that. I'm not good enough for you. That's the kind of girl you want. And it's like, people have to understand most guys aren't necessarily looking at the girl as far as how beautiful they are, because there's beautiful women all over the place. They're looking at the sexual act. They're looking at what's physically happening, unless it's somebody who's like, wow, that's the most beautiful woman in the world, and I want to know her name and get to know more about her. We're not looking at the names of the performers or who's doing it. We're looking at the actual sexual act. So a lot of times people will feel inadequate because they view the stuff that they're watching as like, that's the person, the kind of person you want. Not necessarily that's the kind of stuff you want to engage in, the acts, the behaviors, the sexual things that you want to do.
Dr. Sam Zia, how can people reach out to you?
You can hit me up on Instagram. It's at Sam Z on air. Also, my Psychology Today page, you can hit it up. My number is 106352.
Dr. Sam, look forward to talk to you next week.
Yeah, I'll talk to you next week.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on social media and the iHeartRadio app. Now over to Mark Rodder in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.